the last couple of weeks, we have seen multiple changes to the power abilities of our squaddies, so I thought it's a good idea to update the tier list. In today's video, we're gonna rank all the 35 abilities from the lowest rank D to the best rank S. So if you're curious which abilities are the best ones to use right now and which are the worst, definitely stay tuned and watch this video until the end. And with that said, thank you everybody for being here again, really appreciate it. Back at another tier list video. So obviously this video is based on my own opinion and for sure you can have a different one. Feel free to write it down below in the comments and let's find out the best strategies together. First one I want to rank today is the Fireball ability of the Wizard. Well, what should I say, this one have seen multiple nerfs in the past and before it was definitely S tier and top of the notch for me. Since the latest nerfs, the delay is pretty big and it's easier to dodge it, so for me right now only A tier, but still very usable because of the short cooldown. As next we're coming to the Skeleton Barrel skill from the Witch. It has seen a buff and we now can carry up to 2, but for me this one is actually not too useful since the damage of the impact is not too big and the skeletons, well, are not too good as well, so right now it's a C tier for me. The Shrink Potion of the Trader, well, it didn't get any buff or nerf, and it is still quite versatile to use, but more likely as a defensive ability, so not really to initiate into a fight. Since it is reducing the damage that high, it can be still used in a good way, and a lot of guys are using it, and I saw it recently more frequently being used, so for me it remains an A tier. To the Power Tank, which is shredding since yesterday. Since yesterday he's now staying with your team and that thing is so powerful. It causes tons of damage and it can be even sent in with the Mortis with his active ability. Beside that, heal is now affecting this tank as well. So whenever your medic is healing, this tank slightly heals up as well. Furthermore, when sent in with the ability of Mortis, it gets straight healed as well. And since this is just an additional unit to your squad, almost unkillable, it's absolutely shredding and S tier for me right now. The Super Shell of Shelly is remaining good as it is not affected by any buffs or nerfs and it is still pretty good to use since there's a pretty low cooldown. For me, this is remaining in A tier. Coming to the Power Chord of Poco, well, this one got even a buff with more damage, but the damage is that low comparing it to other abilities. Yes, the stun duration is not too low, but it takes pretty long to stun someone, so for me this is right now not a really useful ability, but with further buffs maybe in the future this can become a really good one. And since I a little bit overrated it in the past, it's now only D tier, even though it got a buff, but for me not usable right now. Before jumping to the next abilities, if you have enjoyed the video so far, then definitely don't forget to leave a like and subscribe completely for free to my channel to not miss any Squad Busters content in the future. And kinda similar accounts for the coin pouch of the Penny. It's not causing any big damage there, furthermore not any splash damage, and the coins are not too big as well, so most of the other abilities are better in my opinion. That's why it is ranked down now to D tier. The Giant Heal Station of the Pam is absolutely good to use, but for me not too versatile to use since it's only healing you. If you have, for example, a Pam in your squad, she's supplying a healing station with every chest. This one here blocking one of your ability slots, so you can't use anything which would give you more speed or more damage otherwise, or causing huge aerial damage. And for me, this one has to be a little bit lower ranked than in the past, even though it didn't get any nerfs, so it's B tier right now. The Super Bruise of Nita, well, it didn't get any buff or nerf, so it is for me actually staying the same in the B tier, but for example with a Mortis it can be useful since that incredible good teddy bear can be sent in afterwards with the active ability of the Mortis, so with Mortis maybe slightly higher, but in general it's okay to use. Eruption of the Miner, and what should I say, after further investigating, this one is only a D tier for me. Too small area, it takes too long to impact, everybody can dodge it, and there is for me right now no use case as there are many other abilities much better. And next we got here the Heal Pack, which is remaining also in C tier. It didn't get any buff or nerf, but for me it's not too good to use since we are missing either some further damage, speed, similar to the Pam ability, and that's why I think it's better to use a squaddy healer instead of blocking one of the two important ability slots with a healing spell. Coming to the Burst Shot of Max, this one got even a buff with a cooldown now of only 4 seconds. That means with this one you can actually trigger the Leon passive ability every 4 seconds. And that is incredibly good, but still that ability the damage is not too good and it's only single target, so I can't rate it better than C tier right now. But in some circumstances, if you want to spam the ability of Lean, it might be better, but in general, nothing I would use right now. The bug spray of Mavis definitely got a buff with stunning more often now, but for me the range as well as the damage is still too low to be meta right now. But nevertheless, I rank it up from D towards C, being not too far away from the B tier, so it could also be B tier here, but the range is just too small and that makes it easy to dodge. So for me it remains in C tier, but I can see definitely the plan of Supercell here, making this more versatile and better to use. And just think, if the area would be bigger, this could be actually a really good future ability. Invisibility of the Lean. Well, it is not any active ability to cause more damage or get more speed, but you're getting invisible, and that is actually not too bad in one or the other circumstance. We had some enemies escaping really good with it, or surprising us with coming out of that invisibility and attacking us. But there has been no buff or nerf for this one, so I would leave it for B right now. The giant turret of the Jessie got a buff, and actually it is alright to use, I would say, but it is stationary, so not really helping too much. But the damage increase and shooting rate increase caused that I will rank it a little bit higher into the B tier, knowing that there are better ones to use, but if you are playing around the middle, it can be kinda useful. Coming to the freeze spell of the Ice Wizard, that got a slight buff there with a longer duration, and I have the feeling it is kinda good to use right now, because we got some speed meter here, and this slowdown is definitely nice, but there is no further damage caused by this ability, so it may remains in B tier, but for now I will give it a try inside of the A tier. And yesterday, when everybody was attacking the hero, actually this spell felt even a little bit better. The Hog Stampede of the Hog Rider is actually not too good to use. I've overrated it a little bit in the past and I have to rank it down. Yes, to defend yourself and push away an opponent which is engaging into you, there it is really good to use, but I prefer those abilities where I can initiate myself into a fight. But being a defensive player, it is still useful. For me right now, only B tier. The Surpressing Fire of the Heavy got a huge buff in yesterday's update. It is causing more damage, attacking faster, and that slowdown is now double the length of 2 seconds. So I did rate it a little bit higher inside of the B tier, but I have to further investigate it, so it might be even A tier, but it is really situational, and the damage is still pretty low and has not a too big impact towards the hero. Nevertheless, the slowdown is okay to use, I would say. Coming to the Log spell, it didn't get any buff or nerf, but I have to rank it lower since it is not too useful, and for example the Stampede is better in my opinion, just to push someone away. It is only pushing away one time, and the Stampede can push away multiple times for further length, so I would prefer definitely as a passive player the Stampede. Maybe this one is gonna get a buff in the future. Right now it's only C tier. The coin stash ability of the Goblin is definitely my most underrated ability from the previous tier list. I have to rate it now S tier, since you can use it with all of the heroes and it is helping to grow your squad bigger than most of the other ones. Furthermore, it is refreshing after opening a chest by 1, so that's 5 further coins after opening 1 chest, which is incredibly good, as this is a straight discount to each chest opened. I'm still not using it with the Archer Queen, but it is really good with all of the heroes and especially good with the Royal King. Super Shockwave of the Frank is causing quite some good damage, but I can't really see the use case right now, and I have slightly overrated it in the past, so I have to rank it down to C tier, even it didn't get any changes. And kinda similar to me is the Elbow Drop of El Primo. I have ranked it too high in the past. The area is too small. Yes, it has a super small cooldown and can be used very often. It drops pretty instant in, so that stun is there, but the stun duration and the area is not big enough for me to be useful right now. Some of you may still use it as would rate it better, but for me, not too good. C tier. Coming to the barrel bump of the Dynamike. A lot of guys recommended it to me already in the past, but I was definitely preferring the Fireball, which got some nerfs there. So right now I'm preferring this one and I have to rank it higher. It was previously in the B tier, so it would be at least A tier. Nevertheless, with bigger squads, and this one has a pretty large area, I think even higher than the Fireball, and has almost the same low cooldown than the Fireball, slightly higher, I am rating this one right now S tier, since it is super useful and it is kinda nice to use also with Sonic. The Sentry Crab of Dr.T is causing actually massive damage. It didn't get any changes and it can't be sent in with the Mortis. Nevertheless, I would rate it from C to B tier now, since the damage is really significant and it can be kinda disrupting you when moving around and if someone is deploying it in. Nevertheless, there are many other abilities better than this one. The Scattershot laser of Ruffs got a slight rework as there was something not working as intended. Nevertheless, it is not too useful for me, but this one can be pretty strong in the future because these split bullets can be pretty good if the damage would be higher. For me right now, only C tier. The Bullet Storm of the Colt, only D tier right now. Even it got a buff there, it is not too useful since it is only targeting into one direction and it is kinda hard to hit the enemy hero with it. Especially with the fast movement which everybody discovered since we have done the first iteration of this tier list. Coming to the chicken clones of the chicken, and what should I say, this is straight S tier for me right now, because if you combine it with medic, these chickens are having infinite HP, they are healing more up, then they are getting reduced over time, and that causes that you have a permanent speed boost. You don't even have to use that ability again if the chickens don't die by damage of the enemy, and that makes your complete game style faster. So for me, this is right now S tier as long as the medic heal is considered for this one. Without, it is situational. I would definitely rate it lower, but this combination is too good to not be on the field. The Mind Trap of the Bow was previously the worst one before with D tier. Well, I have to say that slight stun now and that increased damage made it better. But for me, it is still not too useful. I might do it wrong. I did increase it already to C tier as it is definitely not the worst one anymore, but it is still not too good to use. Coming to the Bee Frenzy, it got 2 nerfs and it was before for me definitely S tier. It may stays even in S tier and it is super good to use, especially if you have the bee in your squad. Nevertheless, I had to rate it a little bit down because of the nerfs. For me, it is still super good to use, so don't get me wrong. A tier means it is still very good to use, just not as good as before. Coming to the Blazing Light of the Battle Healer, and that was an ability I rated into B tier, which was too low. I'm using this with almost all of my build-ups, with not depending on the hero. Yes, it got a slight nerf yesterday, but guys, this is still good to use. It heals you slightly, it stuns the enemies slightly, and it causes some slight damage on top. One of the best all-rounding abilities in my opinion right now, since you can heal between the fights, you can use it in a fight to stun and heal and cause damage, and that's why it is for me A tier right now, even though it got a slight nerf. The Charge of the Barbarian didn't get any changes and remains in the A tier. It's really helpful with a Mortis since those Barbarians can be sent in a second time. Nevertheless, with all the other heroes you can use it to send it in. And especially for new accounts on the free-to-play account I created, this is incredibly good to use as you get it straight from the start. The damage is pretty high from those Barbarians and cause some good damage on the opponent hero if you hit it properly. So for me, A tier. Well, the Sneaky Bash right now, similar to the other coin ability here, not too useful. It remains in the D tier. Coming to the Arrow Volley, it got a slight buff and may some of you consider it in the S tier. For me, a little bit is missing since it is attacking in 3 waves. The first one may hit, the second one may still hit a part of your squad, but it takes that long that you can easily dodge partly the damage or dodge it as a total. Nevertheless, I would put it on the same ladder now as the Fireball ability, since the damage is not to underestimate. The cooldown is still very low, or the same as from the Fireball, so for me, up rank into A tier. The brand new ability, the Digging Charge. And what should I say? It is kind of similar to the ability of the Miner. It takes very long to attack, so it's easy to dodge, but it's kind of hard to spot. The area is slightly higher from the Miner, so maybe it would be B tier. And I have to further investigate it. Could drop it also in C tier, but for now it remains in the B tier and we will further investigate it. Kind of the same counts for the Cyclone laser of Tails. It is super stationary, so it is easy to dodge for the opponent, and that makes it a little bit weak. Furthermore, it is quite a small area which is getting hit by it, but on the other side the damage with over 3k is super duper high if you can hit the full shot laser on an opponent hero. And also there might be a small bug with it, as we could one-shot an enemy hero yesterday, so it might be a better rated, but for me it is too stationary to be really helpful in fights, and it is not like auto-aiming on the opponent hero. That would make it OP and it would be straight S tier. So right now it is in the B tier and we will further investigate it. So now that we have rated all the abilities, which ones is your favorite one and which ones do you not like at all? Write it down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching and thank you guys for your feedback to make this list even better.